Hello there. This is a response to the amazing atheist. I, on the other hand, would consider myself probably a moderate to on par atheist. At best, maybe an avid atheist. I can still include the alliteration. I like that. But that takes some major huevos to call yourself the amazing anything, really. Regardless, let's see. I know this probably is replying to a very old video, but um, I've just started posting my own videos recently, so cut me some friggin' slack here. The questions on anarchy. These actually brought up some really good points. I've said before in some of my videos that I know for a fact anarchy can't work just because people are too lazy to take an active participation in their own governance. Anyway, you know what I mean. People are just too lazy to educate themselves about issues and to take the time to give their input on them. The questions that he posed intrigued me because I've always just been resigned to the fact that an anarchistic society is a pure figment of imagination. But what if it were to exist, and how would some of these things that the government controls be taken care of if there was no established state? Roads being the first one. This is probably the toughest one to answer because yes, the fact that we have cars over most of the countries that favor mass transit is one reason for our roads, but also another reason is Dwight D. Eisenhower. Personally, because he was when he was commanding over in World War II, he was horrified by the state of all the roads that were around Europe. It was incredibly difficult to travel anywhere, so that was one of his personal projects was to found this interstate system so we can transport things. That's a tough point to argue against because that literally is somebody who's set aside to rule, who in this case happened to make a great decision. And it's ironic that that general had the most distrust of what is now the military-industrial complex. But anyway, that's for another video. If the interstate highway system was organized by private institutions or a group of private institutions, the amazing atheist says that businesses only act in their own self-interest, and yes, that's true. And I think in this case, it benefits all businesses greatly to have a well-functioning interstate road system because the vast majority of shipping of goods is done that way. So I don't feel for a second that it would suffer in any way, and in fact, they might be maintained more efficiently. Just as in any aspect of anything, a private institution will do something in an infinitely more efficient manner than any government can, because, well, especially ours, because there's no obligation, or not no obligation, there's no incentive for them to run things efficiently. And so roads, I fully believe they could, still be, equally as adequate if it was in the hands of private institutions. Police is another question. Yes, we would have privatized police force. It's like, well, who would pay them? We pay the police force now. If the police were paid through some kind of private institution, once again, it might be done more efficiently, and we could attract, a higher caliber of person, into these positions of not authority, but they don't have authority. They're just enforcers, and each individual law station, if it was that way, where each region has its own privatized police force, we could still have a national system of laws in an anarchistic society. They would just have to be voted on by everybody instead of setting aside a body of people that sole job is to govern. It wouldn't be up for grabs as opposed in terms of what laws they feel like they're going to enforce. Laws are not antithetical to anarchistic theory or philosophy. This would go back to another video that I posted about oppression, talking about Hobbes. He doesn't believe in morality. The only immoral action, as he sees it, is breaking a covenant. So if we, as a society, agree to abide by this set of laws that we all legitimately have had a part in setting up, not like the American government we have, where we have the illusion that we're setting up our own laws. Our representatives clearly come from an aristocracy and are not representatives of the people. Again, that's another video topic. Yeah, but that's an interesting statement, especially about the police force. But then again, also, if in a truly anarchistic society where there is no need for government because people inherently respect one another, we would need, a minimal amount of police enforcement of the laws that we have set up and agreed to abide by. So it's a tough question. And anyway, it's all completely irrelevant because we can never get to that state. As much as I would love to, that's me. I love to think about things that are completely useless. Some of my heroes, Bill Hicks, Lenny Bruce, guys that can spout off more intelligence in 2 hours worth of comedy than any philosopher or politician could spout out in a lifetime, pretty much. But I'm resigned myself to that fate, and I'm gonna cut this video off because I know it's been going on forever now. But I will see you next time, talking about something else.